Wow, so many people. You could see the love that he had from everybody, but this is just this personal thing that everyone was rejoicing with them. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is a special day. As most of you know, although we're just learning now, it's now the marking of the Queen's Jubilee, the 70th year that she's been reigning. But it also apparently marks the death of her father. When he passed is when she became queen, obviously. So because of that, we wanted something to kind of learn more about that, because that's a part of history that we were not exposed to at all. Plus it was before our time, so that kind of does it too. So good friend of ours, Trevor, thank you, sent us this video that we should check out and suggested this would be a good one to kind of mark the day and the time in history.
Also to introduce this week that we have going on of like learning, checking more of the Queen out.
Yes.
Kind of in commemoration, going back to where it all started. He sent this to us our way and said that we should check this out. So that's what we're doing here today. The video is called The Tragic News of the King's Death.
By the British Movie Tone. So it's like a, what's it called? Old-timey channel kind of thing. They got old news. So this is like the news from that time, I suppose.
We don't really know much about King George VI. The only thing I really know is from what we started on The Crown.
Mm-hmm.
They showed a little bit of him and then the
King's Speech.
The King's Speech. So he had a stutter, but very good movie.
Yeah.
And also kind of a commemoration.
And share with you guys. See if any of you guys knew this history, if this is something that's taught to you guys on like a yearly basis, or if any of this is news to you as well. I'm not sure.
Also, guys, comment down below, just let us know like what you guys do on this day. Obviously, it marks her reign, but is there any, not anniversary, but is there like a commemoration on this day that you guys do? So yeah, we're just going to check this out and kind of
learn a little bit more about this day in history. He's a handsome chap.
The passing of King George VI came as a sudden and most grievous shock to his people all over the world and to all friends of the British Empire and Commonwealth. Signs of the deep mourning into which the nation had been plunged were to be seen everywhere. We all believed that his health had been improving, a fact that added weight to the blow when it fell. When King George V died...
yeah, they're probably closing them for privacy, so people aren't trying to like peek in, and that way they're moving about, I would assume.
Interesting. I wonder if that's part of the custom.
They did kind of show a little bit out in The Crown, like, I don't know if they flat out like lied exactly, but it did kind of show that he was keeping his health a secret.
Right.
From people. So yeah,
it was kind of a shock when they finally did.
Especially for the people.
Yeah.
Like the British people. I'm sure it was a huge shock because they thought he was getting better.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, always harder. A sudden death as opposed to, you know,
especially when
a
you're
slow
young.
passing.
I mean, 56 is still relatively young.
Yeah.
We all believed that his health had been improving, a fact that added weight to the blow when it fell. When King George V died in 1936, he was succeeded by King Edward VIII. Few could have anticipated then that the burden of kingship would so soon fall upon the Duke of York. Before the end of the year, however, he was king. In the spring of 1937 came the coronation. Pictures of that great event recall the scenes of his dedication to royal service on behalf of all his people. The magnificence of that solemn and historic occasion presents a vivid contrast to the simplicity of his family life, for this was one of quiet happiness with the Queen and their daughters, typified by this well-remembered film.
That's Queen Mother. Did I forget her name?
But as for his subjects, so for the King and his family, war came to shatter the world for a second time. The King was untiring in his efforts to lend encouragement throughout the long years of struggle. He stayed in his capital. His home indeed was a target for the enemy.
That's one thing, at least in American, or I'll have to go off America, but I know in American history, the focus really is never on the king. It's always on Churchill.
Oh,
because he was the prime minister of the time. That's what you learn about. So it's
like he was the one involved with the war more than
obviously as king, I'm sure he had a huge part, and I'm sure he was like a huge symbol of hope and everything for the people. So yeah, it just kind of like sucks that like he gets, at least over here, I'm sure not over there, but he gets kind of overlooked in our history.
In our history, yeah.
It was a target for the enemy. Meanwhile, the princesses were growing up, as this delightful wartime record shows.
He's showing her how to knit? That's interesting. Okay. The older one's Queen Elizabeth, right?
I believe so. It looks like her.
At last, victory. Instinctively, tens of thousands turned to their majesties when they wished to express their relief and joy. The King and Queen were indeed the head of the whole British family. 2 years later, the King began what he intended to be a series of tours to the Dominions. His visit to South Africa, however, was the only one that could be carried out.
Because of his health, I think, at that time.
From Cape Town, he travelled throughout the Union, everywhere receiving a warmth of welcome that could only be evoked by the honour and affection in which he was held.
Especially right after the war, held in all that more regard for stopping.
In the following year, the King and Queen celebrated the 25th anniversary of their wedding. Our national rejoicing brought this typical response from the King in a broadcast to his people.
It has been an unforgettable experience to realize how many thousands of people there are in this world who wish to join in the thankfulness we feel for the 25 years of supremely so happy married life which have been granted to us.
That's really cool having that many people celebrate your wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing, I mean, you're the king and the queen if it's like something that involves the country, but this is just this personal thing that everyone was rejoicing with them.
Which goes to show how, like, obviously beloved and regarded.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they respected their king.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I just know so little about him. Like, he obviously must have been a really good king.
Yes.
I've heard good things about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just had a
very short
I think it was only 16 years. I could be wrong on that. I seem to remember, though, 16.
They set the dates, and then I didn't calculate the math in my head.
For the 25 years of supremely so happy married life which have been granted to us.
The birth of a son and heir to Princess, now Queen Elizabeth, was an event of the greatest happiness. Pictures taken at Prince Charles' christening included this group, 4 generations of the royal family.
Oh, wow.
So that was right before she was queen.
It was not long afterwards that the first news of the king's illness was given. All who saw him as he steadfastly continued his royal duties at this time could see how seriously it had affected him.
He looks... Wow, was that him?
Yeah, he
got
aged
really
really
skinny.
fast. Yeah.
Seriously, it had affected him. But after rest and treatment, he improved, and at the time of the christening of Princess Anne, the king appeared to have made a recovery that we all prayed would continue.
There's the Duke.
But later, the king's sudden return from a holiday of recuperation in Scotland was coupled with the news that he was to undergo an operation on the lung. The news was grave. The nation waited in suspense as the course of his progress was made known.
The king has gained strength during the day.
So
oh wow! So they had like a whole like little chalkboard or whatever.
Interesting that they would write out.
The nation waited in suspense as the course of his progress was made known. Once again, he seemed to be on his way back to health, and when he went to London Airport to say farewell to the princess and the duke, he appeared to be better than he had been for many weeks.
Okay, because
they left to Africa.
They went to Africa, yeah.
Farewell to the princess and the duke, he appeared to be better than he had been for many weeks.
So he'd already had his surgery at that point.
Yeah.
The affectionate farewells, though none could know it then, were the last farewells.
That's so
How
sad.
poignant now.
Being that far away when that happens.
They were flying to continue the Commonwealth tours that he was unable to fulfill.
That's right.
He went to Sandringham, where so soon afterwards he passed away peacefully in his sleep. For his consort, the deepest sympathy is felt by the nation. The nation mourns a king who served it so well.
Wow. That's really interesting because just you could see the love that he had from everybody.
It's so sad though. It just is so sad. It's just, I know too, like what they showed in the Crown, but they were showing like she was one of the last. I wouldn't say last people, but like a lot of people knew that he had passed before the news got to them. Oh, that's
right, and they had to like keep it a secret so it would come from the right person to tell her.
Because a lot of people, like it was like she's going all over the world.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to hear that over the news when you have, people to tell you that kind of thing. Golly. Yeah, I could see why, from some of you guys have commented in some of our last videos that today's kind of a day of mourning for her. For the Queen, I mean. So I could see why that would be the case for sure. It was such a sudden, tragic passing.
Yeah, that and too, when your dad dies, regardless of any age, but when he dies, unexpected and when you're young. Because I think she was like maybe 21, 20, 21 or something. I mean, that's still really,
She already had 2 kids.
She had 1 kid.
I thought they mentioned 2.
I'm pretty sure it was just 1. Anyway,
I don't remember. She was young when she got married, though.
Yeah, 18, I believe. The thing I think that would also be really hard is the public in some ways.
Dealing with the public?
Well, I'm sure people were very respectful of it, but still knowing that everyone wants to know what's going on, everyone wants to know how you're doing. The news are writing articles about everything.
Where you probably just want to like close yourself off from everything and just mourn.
And that like her responsibilities start. I mean, I'm sure there was like probably some time of mourning given. But
well, she wasn't actually coronated until
a few months later.
Yeah, it was a bit later,
Churchill, he had a reason, I forget why. But
had to wait for a specific day.
I think it was actually a whole year and something. But
anyway, she was technically queen at that point.
Yeah, I think she had all the responsibilities right away as soon as it happened.
Okay.
Like it passes to her, I'm pretty sure. The coronation is just like the ceremony part.
Okay.
That was just interesting to see. There's something special about this old type of footage.
Yes.
That's so unique.
It's real, in a way.
I don't know,
it's like that blast from the past that just kind of hits you and be like, wow, this is...
Well, it's just everything
history.
about it is always so like how they talked, how they filmed. Everything is just all very much the same. It was I don't know. But anyway, thank you, Trevor, for sending this our way. Obviously, there's a ton we don't know about him. We were just trying to do this video kind of as a way, somewhat, to just commemorate, remember this day with you guys. Obviously, we're new in all this.
And as the beginning of this whole week of learning about the Queen and the royal family and stuff, we thought this would be a good way to commemorate the day and, and hopefully they'll be celebrating later on.
And obviously, guys, we can look more into this later, but comment down just whatever you want to share for like sharing. I definitely want to know like what you guys kind of do for this day. Obviously, it's not a holiday, but like just what you guys call it and what you do if there's any kind of remembrance. Anyway, guys, that
traditions or whatever
is the video. We would just want to check that out. We are definitely up for learning, so if you want to share links and stuff about this time frame, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you all so much.